Okay, what's the question?
Tell me about yourself. Who are you?
Oh God. Well, my name is Mathew Bajda, and I guess I primarily grew up here in the Bay Area, mostly from Half Moon Bay. I've traveled a lot. I lived in Santa Cruz a few years, London, Berlin. Now I'm back here. Yeah, just try to cruise around and take pictures of what I see, document stuff, and on top of that, I guess get people to think more about the world they live in terms of some of the other art that I've put out, sculpture-wise.
What do you think the definition of an artist is?
Oh man, I had this talk with a friend of mine, and for her personally, there's art that either comes from in here or comes from in here, and she thinks, now I may or may not agree, I do partially agree, but to be like a real artist, the stuff that you create, it has to come from inside. It has to come from a feeling rather than, oh, I think this is gonna look cool. It'll be like, I really have a connection which comes from inside. So I feel both, being a Libra that I am, I see both sides, and I know sometimes, oh, this will look really cool, but it looks cool because of the aesthetic. But sometimes there's things it's like, I have to do this. I have to make this. I have to see what'll happen if I get this created.
So I've seen you, you're a musician, you work on old cars, you make art. When did you first realize that, you were kind of a creator, maker, doer?
Ooh, probably really young, like really young. I think, I've always been like making snowmen and stuff when I was a little kid, and I always like to work on stuff, like my skateboard, it's just like, I think it comes from just being able to do things for yourself. Like I never wanted to spend money on getting things fixed or whatever. And I grew up, my dad was a carpenter, and a lot of times in the summer I would just wake up and there would be a note there, this is in high school now, and they'd just say, demolish the kitchen. And so you'd be like, okay, and you just rip this wall down and tear this sink out. And I spent a lot of time doing that and painting the house and staining the back deck and all that when I was in high school. So I guess it really formed up in high school. Then I got into doing graffiti and like working on my own car, and from there it's like I've always liked old cars. So I think maybe high school is when it really solidified. In junior high, elementary school, I liked to draw, but I just felt that might have just been a necessity out of hyperactivity, because I kind of, I have to keep doing things or I feel useless. So, yeah, I guess that's it. High school. The answer is high school.
What draws you to the subject of birds?
Beyond the fact that I got pooped on a lot by birds in college and stuff. And I actually had a pelican poop on me in Malibu last year, and that was a real bummer, but it smelled super fishy. I've always liked owls. Like, I really like owls. And, they just seem really cool. Not the fact that, The Secret of Nim had the wise owl in it or anything, but, birds just seem chill. All they gotta do is fly around and eat, and especially like big predatory birds. It's just like the draw of I'm just flying or whatever. Every kid has that dream of flying, but there's something kind of majestic about it. It's like carefree in a way.